Okay, y'all. This is the second time that we are doing this, and it is 6:52, and I'm not even gonna hold you. Your girl is tired. I have been on here already, and I don't even like. Okay, so we're live. So I gotta test it every single time. And I'm not even gonna hold you. Okay. Y'all, this happened to me last time I went live. And that time I was recording. Hopefully I'm not too loud. Last time I did this and I didn't know that I was live or not live or whatever the case may be. And I was talking for a whole hour and I was not streaming, and then I had to do it again, and that has happened today. The only difference is today we have made sure that we have the technology in place. So I bought, like, you know, the camera that I have, it have a battery, but this battery is like a dummy battery and it plugs into the wall. That's what we need. That's what we need so that we can have the quality. But now, see, the problem is the sun gonna go down and I'm gonna be tired. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Speaking of work, this upcoming week is going to be my last week of school before we get to the summer. I am so excited. Last week, girl, we had sports day, all type of stuff going on at work or whatever, like different events. Like every Friday was something different. And as you know, I have been fighting for my life really since book fair. So the end of April, the last week of April, I've been fighting for my life. And my voice is slowly but surely getting back. But it's mainly the weather, screaming at the kids. It's cold in the library, but then it's hot and humid in the hallway. And then it's just a lot of pollen. My allergies are going crazy. You know what I mean? And a combination of bad eating habits. So I'm trying to do better about that. But yeah, girl, like we've been going through it. This past Saturday, I had a photo shoot to get my brand and everything together. So I'm super excited about that. On a spiritual tip, I went to a Misa. We got positive information from that. So I'm super happy because we have been putting in the work, and I am super tired. It's like when you know you're supposed to do something, you do it, but then it don't always, like, you don't be having all the pieces, but we just working with what we have and we're doing the best. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this is the first time in a long time where I really feel very happy about the direction that I'm going in. It is a little messy because you have to like figure out things and stuff like that, but I'm super happy about it. I was gonna do a midlife check-in, like a mid-year, not midlife. I'm dirty. But a mid-year check-in. I wanted to do that because, yeah, we're gonna have to change it up, y'all. I have recorded this video, the video that we're supposed to do, make room for what's new in your life. I recorded it, but I wasn't live. So I was here at 5 and I was talking to this camera for an hour and a half, and I don't know, because I'm using this OBS studio and because I can do overlays and stuff. So I have created overlays for the thing. I have done everything. I got the mic. I got everything together, and it's just like, girl, I'm doing the best I can, but I really do like live streaming. But anyway, let's do a mid-year check-in. Some things that I'm really proud of is that, you know, things are going in the direction. I can't wait for you guys to see my website that I'm gonna have going up. I'm gonna have my brand. I'm gonna be using this summer to do my Instagram and TikTok. I think I'm gonna put the short form videos on those platforms and just do lives on YouTube or whatever, because I feel like that is more up my speed. But I only really get a month and a half off for summer, so I'm gonna be using my summer to build my brand or whatever, just to get the ground steps, you know, just to get things in place. But I'm super excited. I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning of the year I was a little worried because we were doing something different. You know, we were doing something different and we didn't have all the pieces. We didn't have all the things together the way we felt like we needed to have them together. We didn't have a clear trajectory. And on a spiritual tip, like, we have a piece of the puzzle, but you know, sometimes, you know, they give you you know, they tell you you're supposed to do this, and then you like, okay, well, I'm doing this, now you're talking about something else. Like, can you just give me the instructions, all of them at the same time, so I can know what I'm supposed to be doing? You know what I mean? Like, we walking by faith and not by sight, but my God, give me something else. I need some more clues. Like, it's Scooby-Doo out here trying to figure out your life purpose and everything like that. But I feel like I'm finally hitting my stride, and I feel like I'm finally happy. I saw someone on Instagram talking about, if you're happy, if you know it, it's your meds. And that might be that too. They are working. I feel better. You know, I feel better. But I have deprioritized work. I'm not saying like, oh, you know, we don't care about our job, but we have deprioritized it to the point where we're just focusing on ourselves. We're clocking in, we're clocking out, we're going home, we're doing, you know, what is expected of us, but our job is not our entire life. Speaking of our job, okay, I was so happy that I got a little note from one of my little kids that be always in the library getting on my nerves, you know what I'm saying? She's like, thank you for everything you have done for me and my friends this school year. You have such big impact. You have, you know, we got to work on our ELA. We got to work on our ELA. But it says, you have such, basically you have been an impact on people even when you don't realize it. You gave me a safe spot to be in and give me a reason to go to school. You even taught me things about life that I will need in real life. You are so nice, pretty, loving person. Even if you always say you will kick us out, you never do. You are the only adult in the school that I like. I will miss you and love you. The children, they really are the future. Honestly, I'm gonna miss these kids. And you know, the reason why I wanted to make this video the topic of making space for what is new in our life is because, you know, working with kids, we always tell the kids to reach for more, strive for better, do this, do that, you know. But I tell them that, you know, things happen way quicker than you anticipate. Like, you can be talking and before you finish your sentence, your whole life has passed you by. You can act out of anger and you have made a choice and it has impacted you for the rest of your life, you know. And some people don't wake up from that. And you have to be mindful of the decisions that you make. But as I'm telling the kids that, I have to think about it for myself. Like, in what ways am I settling for what, you know, is already pre-written for me? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I be a little sad because a lot of the kids coming from, you know, the circumstances that they come from, you know, what they see and what they have experienced or what their surroundings, their algorithm is already written for them. And so they're living life on autopilot. You know, they just showing up for literally breakfast and lunch and PE and the hallway because they are never in class. And so it makes me sad. Not saying that you have to have A's and B's and, you know, honor roll and everything like that, but like, your choices, the things that you do, like, you don't even realize, like, the choices they really do impact. Like they say, make it a great day or not. The choice is your, like literally, like it matters. It matters. Like you might not be passionate about, you know, reading and language arts. You might not be passionate about math. You might not be passionate about any of these things, but the choices that you make in these classrooms and these rooms and these interactions and different things of that nature is definitely going to impact where you go and what you do and who you become, right? And that is too much, right? Like as we get into the season of graduation and moving on and everything, like girl, this is about to be the last week of school for me. You know, the good news is it's early dismissal, so thank God for that. But it's like, dang, I'm gonna miss these kids, especially the kids that I work with on a regular day basis. Girl, I am now a counselor, right? I have a child, she's in witness protection, and she has to sit with me for certain periods of the day. And then I have other kids, they come from all over, right? And they just sitting there with me or whatever, and we're having a good time. And now I understand a mother's love, right? Because the child was sitting with me for like a month and a half, 2 months. And, you know, I was working with her with some of her work, but I tell her, you know, I'm not in the classroom like that. So you gonna have to, you know, you have to do something, because I'm not gonna be able to help you with algebra 1. I'm done with algebra 1. You're gonna have to put it together. So she getting it together, right? Because I'm yelling at her, because I'm in there like, you need to get it together. Because I don't like it when I'm in the room and I'm working and somebody is breathing all on my neck. Miss, what you gonna eat? What you gonna do this? What you gonna do that? Like, girl, I done messed up my whole diet in here because we ordering out. No, it wasn't like that before. I was juicing. I was having a wonderful time. You come up in here, now you trying to get on my Uber Eats. Like, get out of my face, period. But we were sitting in there for a month and a half, and last week, she was supposed to turn in a project, a reading, a research paper. And she ain't did no research paper. I feel like it was a language barrier, because she was supposed to write 5 paragraphs. And when I looked at her notebook, it was 5 lines. And I was like, you know, I know your teacher went over this. I looked at the little Schoology and I was like, what you doing? What you doing? So now I got to go in there and talk to her, because we was working on the math project, we was working on the science project, and we was working on the social study project. But I didn't know she had an English language arts project. Mind you, she has parents. She got parents. She got a whole mom. And I'm like, what's your mama saying? She just said, you know, I'm like, you going to be in summer school. She told me not to be in summer school. I was like, well, you gonna be in summer school. I'm not gonna be there. They not paying librarians to be there, so I'm not gonna be there. So you ain't gonna be sitting up with me. You need to get it together. And so that's what we've been doing for the past week. I've been helping her with her project. But girl, I get it, the whole mother thing. And so if I had anything that I could tell my younger self, or little kids or whatever coming up, girl, don't settle. Don't get caught up. You know, and don't, like, I feel like, because I'm turning 31, I'm 31 now. I say I'm turning 31. I'm 31 now, but I'll be turning 32. And as a millennial, I feel like there's this pressure on us because we're adults now, right? We're adults. We're in season 2 of what's that show? Sex and the City. Oh, we can't talk. Oh, my bad. Anyway, we're on season 2 of that, right? But it's just kind of like there's this pressure of getting the house, the family, the marriage, everything all at one time, because we're 30 years old. There are things that we thought we would have had that we don't necessarily have. Like right now, I thought I would have been like at 27, I was supposed to be married. Okay? Engaged at 26, married at 30. I want to have a couple of years for myself, me and my husband. But we're late because we ain't even got the boyfriend yet. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I feel like there's this pressure of settling. Like every time we go to a family event, they're like, when are you going to settle? When are you going to do this? Are you on a different side of tracks? Like I get that. But it's just like, no, I just want things to be a certain type of way. Coming from a background where my parents, like, seeing their relationships, they didn't work out, and their personalities, and then also being spiritual, looking at their charts, I don't know how they got together. I don't know what attracted them to each other. I know what would have repelled it, but I don't know. I feel like they was just doing stuff just to do it. Like just having kids just because you supposed to be having kids at this time. Getting married because they told you supposed to get married. Like that ain't the person for you, but whoever is around when the light is on. They say that, you could be in a relationship with a man and he'll date you for years and years and years, right? But you're just a placeholder, right? Until he get the person that he want to be with and his light is on. His light is on. He just married you because his light was on. I don't want to be the light was on, and I also don't want to be the placeholder either. I want to be in a relationship, and maybe this is me asking for too much, but I want the relationship to actually be meaningful, and I want to actually like be friends with the person, get along with them, and I don't want him getting on my nerves for the rest of my life. I have been in my house by myself for too long, and I really enjoy it. Okay, I got a dog. My mom got a matching dog. We got 2 Maltipoos. I don't have to deal with nothing. We got a whole little Maltipoo family now. I don't have to deal with nothing that I don't want to deal with. So it's going to take a lot for a man to top that. You know what I mean? It's going to take a lot to top that. That's why I feel like we need to make room, make space. But at the same time, I feel like we should fill our lives up with ourselves, right? Fill your life up with yourself. Doing the things that you love, the things that you are passionate about, showing yourself, you know what I'm saying? And then a man, he's going to come and be the sprinkles on top of the cake. The cake is already the cake. The cake is the cake with the entree. You got the icing, little fruit. He is just a little sprinkle of glitter just for presentation. That's all he doing. He is not the cake, right? He's just the presentation. He's just the, with the little sprinkles and stuff. He's the garnish. That's all he doing. That's all he gonna do is gonna garnish it. Just make it look pretty. That's all he doing. That's how I feel about life, And so, yeah, telling the kids that, being around the kids has really opened my eyes up into one, I'm not gonna lie, 31 is not old. I thought it was. I thought 31 was old because that's what we thought. But now it's 31, 30 is not old. It's not, because I feel like it's how you feel. And it's also looking at my timing, societal timing, and then God's timing. Everything happens the way it needs to happen and lines up within the time frame that it needs to. I can't say that I would have been a good wife, all right, at 22, 20, 26, 25. I probably might not even be a good one now, right? Because I don't cook and I don't clean. I straighten up. In the South, they say you cleaning or you straightening up, right? If you cleaning, that's when you really cleaning, you really scrubbing some stuff down. No. I am going to straighten up. I am going to put this stuff in a box. If it's trash, I'm going to throw everything in a trash bag. Black trash bags are my favorite thing to do. It just is so therapeutic to just wipe everything off and put it into a trash bag. And if you need it again, we'll just buy it again. But I'm not really trying to do too much of cleaning and scrubbing and everything. I'm not really trying to do that, mess up my nails. That's too much work, actually. I'm tired just thinking about it, okay? Laundry, y'all, I do the best I can. I do the best I can. I don't know. I don't know if I would be a good wife. And then also, I think one of my relationships, I didn't like him because, it sounds bad when you say it out loud, but he was breathing real loud. It it was a loud breath. You know what I mean? Almost like snoring, but you're awake. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all, you know? And then the level of conversation, the things that I like to talk about versus the things that other people like to talk about. Like on the outside looking in, you probably think all I want to talk about is makeup. I do. I just went to Ulta. I did have a good time at Ulta. I did. But I like esoteric things. I like to think about and meditate on all type of spirituality things. There's no topic under the sun that I couldn't talk about. But the thing is, I don't like the superficial things. That's just not my thing. And then some people like to talk, and I noticed this about men, is like they like to talk just to hear themselves talk. Now, if I'm just dating you because I want something to eat, I can keep you talking. I can do all of that. But like being in a relationship with somebody like that, absolutely not. I was like, I'm checked out. I have checked out of the relationship. I have checked out. I would be like, girl, I'm so bored. I am bored out of my mind. So it's just like, dang, dating and everything is like finding out what you like, you know, and what really drives you in a relationship and what you need. And each relationship, each, you know, interaction teaches you something different about yourself, you know. And it's just like, you can't be in a relationship and find love if you don't know who you are and what really makes you tick, girl. But we never get that experience, especially like say you're in high school and you meet the love of your life. I be telling the kids right now, they talk about marriage. I'm like, what? You in middle school? That don't even sound right. Does that sound right to you? Like, no, you got a whole landscape of like horizons in life, and you got a whole new set of people. You got to go to high school. You got to meet some people there. You got to meet people in college. You going to get grown, get your own vibe, and then you going to meet people then. Don't settle for the first thing that pop your way in middle school, girl. No. Like, that's why I be yelling at the kids all the time. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you thinking about? You gonna throw your whole life away? Your whole life away? Because this child said he ain't gonna, what? I had a new one every weekend. Like, every time you get a new one. What's wrong with you, children? And I'd be so bad because, you know, their parents, they're busy. They don't have time for that, you know, or maybe like, I feel like we repeat the relationship dynamics. We repeat the relationship dynamics that we saw within our parents and what they did, you know? And I am making it a point to never repeat that. I do not want to repeat the dynamics of my parents. Not saying, you know, we don't like how we got here, but that's not something that I would have did, you know, just looking back on it. And so teaching that to the kids, you know, teaching them to look for better quality, giving them, like, sometimes the kids do not be understanding like a certain relationship is actually like very much toxic, you know. And I don't know what this obsession we have for toxicity, like we like that, we thrive on things being like, we need that. Just because it's intense does not mean that it's love. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. It's not the dynamic that you want, you know. And so that is a whole nother, I feel like we accept the love that we think that we deserve. And that is a tough pill right there, because if you are in a relationship and this man, this woman is not calling you back, then that means that you believe that you are not worth getting a call back. You know, you're not worth getting the text back. You're not worth just the thought. You know, they say the thought that matters. Well, they didn't think of you, and so obviously you think that you don't matter because you're in a relationship with someone that's not even giving you the thought, not even the time of day. And that is a tough pill to swallow. And then you have to get into, well, why do you feel like, you know, why do you feel Why do you feel that you don't matter? You know, is that because, is it reinforcing something within yourself? So that's a whole nother can of worms. That's a whole therapy session based off the relationships that you choose to allow into your life. You know, you choose these relationships. Sometimes we have self-fulfilling prophecies and we choose the same type of partners that our parents were, or we choose the same type of partners that, you know, you believe this about love. You have this perception about love and what love is supposed to be, what relationships are supposed to be, and you accept and you repeat it over and over and over again. And you only choose personality types or dynamics that is going to keep giving you what you want, you know, and you say, I don't want that. Well, something within you wants these problems. And so we have to get to the bottom of that too. It's like a whole thing, because if you love yourself, you would never allow anyone in your space, right, that does not respect you, does not treat you the way you want to be treated. And how do you want to be treated? You want to be given the thought of the day. You want somebody that's going to communicate with you and actually communicate with you. Some people be talking, but they ain't really saying nothing. You want to have an actual conversation with somebody that is actually asking you questions and they care about how your day is going and what you're going through, and all of that goes into different dynamics. Me, I am learning, right? I do not like useless. Yeah, I don't like useless men, right? And it's not about just what he can do for you, but it's just kind of like, if you know I got something to do, I have a routine. You should be helping me with my routine. I have a routine. I have a schedule. I have a planner, right? You should be helping me take stuff off the list. You know, like that's what I like. I like for the list. I like the check marks. Like, you know, we got things on our list. Let's tick some stuff off the list that we have. We got a lot of stuff to do. Let's tick some stuff off. That's what I like, you know. Something that I saw, like if something were to ever happen to me and I was sick or something, somebody that would be able to get me some soup, somebody that would be able to, you know, just the thoughtfulness, right? Can I have some soup? Can you know, rub me up with some Vicks Vapor Rub? Things like that. That matters. That matters to me. And I didn't realize that until, you know, my mom had her surgery, and you see different dynamics and things of that nature. Somebody that is willing to listen and offer advice, but then also be willing to accept advice, because sometimes I give advice and nobody asks me, but I mind my business. I mind my business, not all the time, but it's just kind of like being able to have a conversation. I don't want to have like those surface level conversations. I care about the deep underworkings of the human psyche. And so that is what matters to me. And so, you know, being in all these different, I'm not going to say bad relationships, I'm going to say different relationships that were learning experience. Sorry, y'all, I'm more nervous. Anyway, learning experiences so that I could be a better person and just evolve, you know, and you learn what you want and what you don't want in a relationship by the different dynamics and different interactions that you have with other people, you know. But the thing is, I've noticed that when we're young, we don't date. We don't really date like that for real. Our parents tell us my parents told me to prioritize schoolwork. And I was prioritizing schoolwork. But I could multitask. I was out there. I was having a good time. I did. And so I learned what I liked and what I didn't like in a relationship. And we have compiled a very nice list, you know, but something that matters to me is just not settling in relationships, not settling and not just taking what I can get. I feel like the longer you have been single and everybody else is around you, that they're married or whatever, like you feel the urge to just, well, maybe I can take something off the list. Well, maybe I can, you know, maybe I don't need this, or maybe this isn't, you know, like you start second guessing your boundaries. You start second guessing the things things that you always wanted, you know, because society, the people around you, your friends and your family, or even just like you just get that doubt, like maybe I don't have somebody out there for me, maybe I don't, you know, like, you know, like you just start second guessing yourself. But I just honestly, the more and more I talk to older women, they are a little happier, a little too happy with being single. They're like, girl, it is not all that it's cracked up to be. And I was like, wait a minute. Now, that's not what Disney said. That's my dog playing. That's not what Disney said. Disney didn't say that. Disney said that I was supposed to get some type of fulfillment, you know, from this relationship. But I'm learning more and more that, like I said, the relationship is the garnish. Building a whole life on your own, that's what it is. And he can come in and he can come and say hello and have a wonderful time. But it's just like, we have to build our own lives, our own thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, like, don't settle. The other thing I wanted to say before I get off of here, because look, we did this the second time we doing this, is the longer it takes you to let go of what is stagnant, you know, those dead relationships. Hold on, my dog. Hey, you better chill out. I'm on live. You need to relax. I'm sorry, y'all. We don't lie. My dog is... She do that when it's time to go to bed. Like, she'll just start running, and she's not chasing anything. She's just running around here acting a fool. But anyway, the longer it takes you to let go of those past relationships, those stagnant relationships, is as long as it's going to take you to get to the better things, right? Some people will be like, oh, I love this person, blah, 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 and I want to manifest a specific person. I do not recommend that, but we're not doing woo-woo today because I'll be on here all night. But I don't believe in manifesting a specific person. I believe in manifesting a specific dynamic, things that you want in a relationship. And you have to be very specific with what you want to bring into your life. And you can't bend and you can't fold, because you can say you love yourself. You can say that you have these boundaries, but oftentimes the moment you say that you love yourself and you this and you that, you get a test, right? They send you some type of test, and this person will test your boundaries, and you will find out whether or not you really believe the things that you say you believe, you know? And so you have to stand 10 toes down. If there are things in relationships, it doesn't have to be like love relationships. It could be like just people or whatever. You teach people how to treat you. You know what I mean? The things that you accept on a regular day basis. It could be something as simple as somebody just not thinking of you. You think of other people. Like, for instance, I buy cards for people. I buy cards and I never ask people for a reimbursement or anything. It's nothing for me to go down there to the Dollar Tree and go get a card. It's nothing. Just to, you know, just to give that, you know, but people don't do that for me. People do not be, you know, like, they never be like, oh, thank you or nothing, like, you know, but it's okay. It is okay, because we're working towards something else. But it's just kind of like, you learn the moment you learn, like, the effort that other people put in, that's what you have to give to them. I like to see the best in people. I really do. I like to live on cloud nine. I like to be like, oh, people are this and they're that, you know, like, I try to see the best in people, but sometimes people are really like, they will take you for everything that you got. Okay. And the moment that you're not showing up the way that they want you to show up, they switch up, you know, and that is a learning lesson. That is, you know, life. And then you just have to move on. Like, you're not going to tolerate it anymore. So you have to do what you have to do for yourself. They're going to feel some type of way. You will lose people along the way. But some people, they are lessons. They're not supposed to be in your life forever. And the longer you try to keep people in your life that are not supposed to be in your life, is as long as it's going to take you to get to your next level, to get to your blessing. You know, I think of the picture of the girl that had a bear. She was holding on to the bear and it was all broke up. It didn't have an eye. One of the eyes was missing. Some stuffing was coming out of it. And she really wanted to keep this bear. Can I keep the bear? Can I keep the bear? And, you know, God was like, I got another bear for you. Okay. But I want to keep this one, you know. But if she would have just went on and gave the bear up, she would have got a big old teddy bear that was twice her size, you know. So think of it like that, like something that you don't want to give up, something that you like, it's going to get better on the other side. Sometimes we settle and we accept things because we're too afraid. We say that the devil that we know is better than the one we don't, you know, or, you know, is the grass greener, or what would we anticipate? Like, how would we even react in a relationship or a dynamic where we got everything that we wanted? Like, you be like, well, we need the other shoe to drop. What's the bad part? What is it gonna cost us? Like, excuse the noise. Sometimes when we say about relationships that are, you know, say like a Cinderella type relationship where the man is taking care of you, you automatically think that there's some type of financial abuse or manipulation and things of that nature, because obviously you feel, why, you know what I'm saying? What is she doing that's worth this and that? But the thing is, there are relationships and dynamics where people get more out of the relationship and they're not extraordinary. They're not anything. The man just loves her. The man is going to take care of it, and that is okay, or whatever the dynamics are. So it's like we automatically assume that something is going to be bad because that is all we're programmed to believe. Like it has to be, like there has to, like it got to be too good to be true. You know what I mean? And we have to reprogram that so that we're not settling. Okay, we allow fear to keep us and hold us back so that we never seek anything outside of the norm, right? Because who told you, you know, that the norm is the norm? Who set the standard, you know, for us to follow? We have to set our own standards, and we have to do, you know, the best that we can do within our own lives, but create our own algorithm. Like, don't live life on autopilot, you know, write your own scripts. Period, you know. So hopefully I am making sense. Okay, don't settle. Make room for what's new coming in your life. Like it's gonna blow your mind. Okay, so on this part of the video, I'm giving y'all updates. We are doing lives. What is it? Today is Monday. We was off work today. We're gonna do Wednesday and Friday. I have my titles that I'm gonna do, but we're gonna let the Lord use us. Okay, we're gonna let the Lord use us, but you know, I'm gonna try to make them like a little more concise now that I'm getting the technology together. But anyway, we're gonna do I know I'm gonna do Wednesday and I'm gonna do Friday. I'm gonna do 5 p.m. still, and I'm gonna really try to make sure that the technology is working. Okay, the camera is working. Last time I did this, the camera cut off and I had to figure out, and then I wasn't even recording and I had to use my mic. It was too much. It was too much. So today we see that the camera is working, the lighting is working, 5 o'clock is good. But it's something going on with this system where it says you're live or you're not live. It's just too much, but we're working on it. I had an intro and an outro. I had all these different things, but I am so proud of myself. So proud of myself. But anyway, what else I want to tell y'all? I think that's it. I had my photo shoot on Saturday. I'm going to launch my website and everything like that. It's going to be so amazing, you guys. That is going to be probably June 15th. I think she's going to be done with my pictures on June 7th because I just had the shoot. It take about 2 weeks. And so I'm really excited about that. I am really, really excited about my photo shoot. And then I'm going to use my summer to get my Instagram and if TikTok is still working, I'm going to still be doing that this summer. And then I'm still gonna be doing my lives. I'm gonna do the lives. I think I'm gonna keep the schedule of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. If you have a different time in mind for the summertime, please let me know. But I'm thinking I'm just to stay consistent, I like the Monday, Wednesday, and the Friday lives. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. But I don't have anything else to say. I'm gonna get ready to go to bed. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you on Wednesday, you guys. All right? So, see you in the next one.